For me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
This is something that the polls clearly show America as a whole is on the way to supporting. It's clearly not something that a lot of the states, when it's put to a vote, are ready to support, which is why it's an inherently risky proposition for the president. But I think there's no doubt that what the president of the United States did this week is a very, very big deal. And in terms of how this will be seen in the future, no one ever really knows. But I think if the past is any judge, it's moments that people look to like these as the real marks in the road that the country is moving towards as a sign of having arrived somewhere. It was very interesting to watch Mitt Romney's reaction to the president's news this week.
Aren't there issues of significance that you'd like to talk about?
The economy,
the economy,
which makes total sense. It's what the candidate and the campaign have built their candidacy around. It's what's going to remain the #1 issue in the election. Mitt Romney is a really awkward champion for the GOP base on social issues. It's a fact proven through the entirety of the GOP primary. But the real question of how it impacts the election, I think, is to what degree people consider Barack Obama a stand-in for the issue of legalizing same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage has, of course, failed every time it's been before American voters as a ballot issue. But this won't be a ballot issue. People won't be pulling a lever for or against same-sex marriage. They'll be pulling a lever for or against two candidates. Take, for example, the ballot measure that was voted on this week in North Carolina and that ultimately passed, constitutionally banning same-sex marriage. The language of the bill, of course, did more than just ban same-sex marriage. I think the way in which the opponents of that measure made their argument says a lot about where the conversation about gay marriage is heading in the country. And I think implicit in the anti-amendment argument was the fact that, you can't just legislate against one group of people based on their sexual orientation without risking an impact on the wider community. Regardless of results in those amendments that shows where we are now, it certainly doesn't show where we're heading to.